limits and continuity. First, we'll see what is the meaning of a limit. The word limit means that when x approaches a value, say a, the value to which f of x, the function of x approaches, is called the limit of f of x when x tends to a. Cauchy's definition. It says that let a and l belong to the set of real numbers. Limit x tends to a fx equals to l means that mod of fx minus l can be made arbitrarily small by choosing x close enough to a. That is, for any epsilon greater than 0, we can find delta greater than 0 such that mod of fx minus l is less than epsilon for all x belongs to a minus delta comma a union a to a plus delta. This interval is called the deleted neighborhood of a. That is the neighborhood of a without the value of a actually being present in it. What this definition means is that you can choose any value of epsilon, no matter how small it is. I can find a value of fx by choosing an appropriate x which is close enough to a such that this term, the difference between the actual limit and the value of fx at the appropriately chosen x, is less than any number that you can choose. Let's see an example. In this example, we'll try and find the limit x tends to 3 fx. By this graph, we can see that as we move closer to 3, the value of fx tends to 4. Therefore, the limit x tends to 3 fx equals 4. That means for any given epsilon greater than 0, we can find delta greater than 0 such that mod of fx minus 4 is less than epsilon for all x belongs to the deleted neighborhood of 3. What left hand limit means? For epsilon greater than 0, we can find delta correspondingly such that fx minus l is less than less than epsilon for all values of x in the left neighborhood of a, that is a minus delta to a. In this case, we approach a only from the left hand side and see where the value of the function of the corresponding function tends to when we approach a from the left hand side. It is written in this way: limit x tends to a minus fx equals l, and can also be written as f of a minus equals l. Similarly, right hand limit, you can see the definition is for epsilon greater than 0, we can find delta correspondingly such that fx minus l is less than epsilon for all x belongs to the right neighborhood of a, that is a to a plus delta. This time we approach a from the right hand side and see the corresponding value to which f of x goes to. Similarly, this can be written as limit x tends to a plus fx equals l, and also this part can correspondingly be written as f of a plus equals l. Now some remarks about what we have studied. F of a minus and f of a plus, that is the left hand limit and the right hand limit, may not always be equal. Here is an example. Here limit x tends to 5 by 2 plus fx equals 1. But limit x tends to 5 by 2 minus, which is the left hand limit, equals 2. If f of a minus and f of a plus are different, then we say that limit at a does not exist. That is, limit x tends to a fx does not exist. Now let's see what the term continuity means. A function is said to be continuous at a point if the limit of the function to that point and the value of the function at that point are equal. That is, limit x tends to a fx and the value of f of a are equal. In general, if f of a minus is not equal to f of a plus, that is the left hand limit and the right hand limit at a given point are not equal, then that function is said to be discontinuous at that point. If a point does not belong to domain of a function, then we say that that function is discontinuous at that point. For example, sin x by x doesn't have the point 0 in its domain. So sin x by x is discontinuous at 0. Points in the domain can be classified in three ways. The first is the interior point. For a function to be continuous at an interior point, this is the requirement. Limit x tends to a fx equals f of a. For example, in this function, for any point which is an interior point for this function, that is any point except 1 and 2 and between 1 and 2, for the function to be continuous at that point, limit x tends to a fx should be equal to f of a. Now we'll see the condition for boundary points, that is 1 and 2. The left boundary point, which is 1 in this case, here we can see the left hand limit does not make any sense. That is why we only define the right hand limit. So the right hand limit, if it is equal to the value of the function at left boundary point, then we say the function is continuous at the left boundary point. For the right boundary point, similarly we define if the left hand limit is equal to value of the function, then we say that the function is continuous at that right boundary point. Isolated point. Mathematically, a point x is called an isolated point if a subset S of a subset S, if x is an element of S, but there exists a neighborhood of x that doesn't contain any other point of S. That is, there are no points in the neighborhood of the point at x equal to a in the domain of S. By definition, we say that a function is always continuous at an isolated point. Now we define continuity in a set. For a function to be continuous in set, it must be continuous at each and every element of S. Even if it is not continuous at a single element of the set, we say that the function is discontinuous for that set. A function f is called a continuous function if it is continuous at each point of its domain. Polynomials, trigonometric functions like sin x plus cos x, cot x, etc. are continuous. Inverse trigonometric functions, sin inverse x, cos inverse x, etc. Logarithmic functions like this, exponential functions, 1 by x, the absolute value, the mod functions are all continuous in their domains. Let's see some more examples. The natural logarithm function is a continuous function, which can be clearly seen by its graph. Fx equals to 1 by x is a continuous function. You may say that it is not continuous at 0, but it doesn't matter. Since 0 is not in its domain, even if it is not continuous at 0, we can say that fx equals 1 by x is a continuous function since it is continuous at all the points in the domain of the function. Similarly, tan x is a continuous function because it is discontinuous at only those points which are not in its domain, like pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, basically 2n plus 1 pi by 2. But we say fx equals to 1 by x is discontinuous in the interval minus 1 to 2 because of the set definition. Here we are defining continuity in a set. But in this set also contains the element 0 and fx equals to 1 by x is discontinuous at that point. Since it is discontinuous at a single element of the set, we say that it is discontinuous on the entire set. Same goes for fx equals to tan x equal in in interval 1, 2 because that interval contains pi by 2. Now for the greatest integer function, it is a discontinuous function since it is discontinuous at integers and integers are in the domain of that function. you can clearly see here the limit and value are clearly not equal. The left hand limit and the value are not equal. Now the signum function is a discontinuous function because of its discontinuity at 0. Now we discuss a special function, the Dirichlet's function, which is equal to 1 when x is a rational number and is equal to 0 when x is an irrational number. Here we can clearly see that it is discontinuous at every point of its domain. If you have any doubts, please ask them in the comments. I'll try and answer them. Thank you.